I'm just taking a break in the middle of the day to show you what I've done. See, I've come to a bit of an impasse here in the sketchbook. Not an impasse, but here I'll show you. So we're coming to the end of the story. We've seen the parade, and this girl is catching a leprechaun, and the leprechaun gives gold to this boy. And then I just have one page to show that he goes to a store and buys some art supplies. And that little payoff is because that is actually what happened, sort of, at the real St. Patrick's Day parade a couple months ago, where I was actually dressed as a leprechaun and I bought some art supplies right after the parade. It was starting to sprinkle. So I was in the art supply store with all green on, so it was like a leprechaun buying art supplies. I said that all backwards. Um, and the thing is, that's going to be fine for this project, this that I'm entering for the state fair as an altered book. But I wanted to flesh out the story because I scan every page and put it in the computer, and I'd rather have the story make more, have a few more elements to it. So I have this other sketchbook here, which is basically just practice for watercolor. This is better paper than this. It's not quite a cotton rag. It's not quite a. It's sort of a rough. Uh, it's not quite watercolor paper, but it's close there. And it's a different dimension. So I wanted to have a scene where the boy approaches the store, and then one where he's leaving with the supplies, and then that would flow a little better. And it doesn't bother me that these have different dimensions because, well, I'm not going to get into that, but that doesn't bother me. So the question is, what did I want this store to look like, and things like that. Well, writers write about what they know, and artists draw what they know. And I was reminded of a art supply store in a small town where I lived, the small college town. And this store isn't here anymore. It went out of business. Let's see if I can't get the picture a little bigger. But anyway, I wanted to commemorate that store, at least in sort of a fantasy version of it. It was called Studio Supply, and this store actually it was two storefronts put together in a single store, and the left-hand side had a canvas and papers, and then the right-hand side had pens and other art supplies. And the back of the store had paints, if I remember right, and then the register was in the front. So the door on the right was always closed. It was used. No, that's not right. It was open sometimes. But I do have memories of not being able to use this door. Maybe it was just at certain times of the year. Maybe summertime when they had the air conditioning on. Now, not a lot of images of that store survive, but fortunately, this one did because it had the mural on the side. And the mural is something that I definitely remember, and the mural is something that I wanted to commemorate in this page. So we're going to see the store at an angle. This is an alien store, so there'll be an alien there playing the flute. And so this would sort of vaguely remind me of that store. And let's see, I believe there's one more picture of it online. For some reason, not a lot of people took pictures of the store, unfortunately. Okay, I think this is the last one. This is just a different angle of the store, but I definitely remember the neon sign. Maybe I can add the neon sign in my drawing. Anyway, that was just a small little mom and pop studio store. I miss it quite a bit. I don't live in that town anymore, but I was very saddened to hear about its closing. Now, another place, not actually very close to it, was a tiny bookstore. And I looked at pictures of this because I wanted to use some of that as inspiration for this sketch. So this little bookstore was essentially a house. This is it in its last days. And I liked the shape of the house and the sign here. Now, it had a lot of items out front. It had sort of a free local ad ads that were in a newspaper form, and it had bulletin boards and things like that. So I want that to be here also with this alien store. So it's got the awning of the studio store I mentioned before, but the rooftop of that old bookstore, and it's going to have some things outside, maybe some newspapers, maybe some announcements. Probably going to just do like pottery, things like that, just to kind of give it an ancient Greek feel to it, or kind of a classical feel to it. All right, there are actually a lot of pictures of the inside of the store, which unfortunately no longer exists, but I have a lot of fond memories of going to that store and browsing around. It was a type of store that had um, vinyl records and DVDs and a lot of VHS tapes in the front of the store, and then it had um, all types of books. And it was kind of organized chaos, where the books were organized by they were in the right section, and they were kind of alphabetized if you squinted a little bit, and just weren't too particular. So it was always a treasure hunt. I very seldom went to that store looking for a specific book, but more often just a type of book, or really just a hunt. It was a lot of fun, and that is something about that time period that those memories are very pleasant. Just sort of hunting and picking up a book at random and buying it. I was the type of person who would read things that interested me, even if they weren't really something in a subject that I really love. And I would do the same thing at libraries. Before the internet, people would just search and read random books and random things. All right, we're probably coming to the close of images of that bookstore, but you can see here some of the reasons why that bookstore is no longer there. There's been a lot of development downtown, and I'm not saying that development is a bad thing. There are actually many advantages to that, but there are some problems when you have massive high rises and hotels that change the entire dynamic and the property values, and it made it. Well, I really don't want to get into all of the details. The small little town changed. All right, I think we've seen that. Now, so after this page, in terms of the story, we would actually have the main picture here, which is going to be our character getting art supplies using the leprechaun gold. And there's a little bit of redundancy here, because I have to have the word stationery store, so that if someone just has this book, the story still makes sense. But if we actually but when it's all scanned together, that'll be a little bit of redundancy, because we'll see the boy entering the shop. Now the last part is he has the art supplies and he's leaving the store, so he's actually still in the store, and we get to see the interior of it. And for the interior, I was reminded of a different bookstore. Now, I don't know whether this store is still there. It was part of a sort of a planned community type thing. But this is the nice version of the neighborhood used bookstore. So everything is extremely neat and put together. So some of that will end up in the illustration, but also probably a lot of the chaos of this used bookstore. I'm still brainstorming here, so I'm not entirely sure. This isn't exactly a representation of what the store looked like, because you can tell they're already moving out. But imagine this, but far more cluttered and everything, and that's what that store looked like. So anyway, this is I'm just on break right now, and I wanted to show you all of the little ideas that go into these pages. Sometimes I just go right from imagination and just do something very simple. But other times I do look at a lot of drawings for inspiration. And also a lot of times I do a lot of sketches. I'm not sketching right now because I'm really trying to finish up this project. This project will take another month, but I just need to work on it like clockwork to get it done. Anyway, that is my progress so far, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.